All right, the next thing we are going to cover with our e-commerce store is everybody's favorite thing, taxes. We will set up a tax according to our state here, which is in South Dakota. So to do that, it's pretty simple, right? You click on that big button that says Add a Tax Rate. So as we walk through this, we are going to set this up so obviously the information makes sense for us. So we're going to do SD sales tax of 6%, which is our state sales tax amount. And then we're going to end up putting the rate in at 0.06. So that's important to note that it is in decimal values, not in percent values. And we're going to apply that to our sales tax type of sales tax, not VAT, because we don't have VAT tax in South Dakota. And now the next thing we got to do is configure it to work with the South Dakota.
And you're going to notice this interface is very similar to how we set up the shipping service for the free shipping over $25. And you're going to see this interface over and over again. So pretty soon you're going to get pretty familiar with how this works. It works the same way. If, in this case, we want to check for if the billing address is South Dakota, then we want to apply tax of South Dakota sales tax for 6%. So we start by adding that condition. And in this case, we want to find order address component comparison. And this is going to allow us to compare the address. For the data selector, once you click here, you're going to have options. Look for the commerce line item and select that. Once you have the commerce line item selected, you're going to select the order because we want to pull the address from the order and check if it's South Dakota. For the address, we're going to go ahead and select billing address, and we're going to select equals. Well, sorry, for the address component, we actually need to select administrative area, which is essentially just the state. So when you enter it in on the checkout, it goes into this administrative area section, and you want to check if that equals SD for the value, which is South Dakota, and it's abbreviated state name. And that's all you simply have to do. And now that should read out just like we mentioned it before. If the order address, the billing address, is in South Dakota, we are going to apply a 6% South Dakota sales tax rate. So we'll click save and then we'll actually test this out.
So once we get back, we're going to look at that same order we've been dealing with and show the difference between being in South Dakota and not being in South Dakota and how that tax will get applied. So what we'll need to do is we need to go back to our checkout settings and make sure we double check what address we're using here. So under the billing information, you can see we're using South Dakota as the state. So once we go through to the payment settings, we should see a line item for tax of 6%. And if we scroll down here, you'll see right there, South Dakota sales tax of 6% is getting applied to the subtotal amount. But now if we go back and change our tax rate, or excuse me, our state to a different state, we'll just pick one here at random.
So we'll go ahead and go back to the checkout page and start over. We just moved to Oklahoma. And you'll notice it's always based just on the billing information.
And now you can see that the sales tax rate for South Dakota does not apply and nothing has been added.